Hi everyone. Today we're going to be doing NFL props bets, and we're going to start with the MVP. Last year's winner, Adrian Peterson, is not the favorite. The favorite is Peyton Manning at 5-1. Joe, who do you like in the NFL this year?
I'm gonna go this year with a bit of not a sleeper pick, but not one that many people are talking about. I'm gonna go Drew Brees with the return of Sean Payton in New Orleans. I think Drew Brees is gonna get the he was near at the top last year with passing yards last year. Anyways, I think it's only gonna get better now with Sean Payton back. You got Lance Moore there. You got Marquez Colston there. You have Sproles there. So you have weapons there. I think Drew Brees is going to be my pick this year for NFL MVP.
When you were saying long shot, I was getting scared you were going to say Tim Tebow at 500-1.
We're not even sure Tim Tebow is going to make the roster this year in New England. So
I think a couple of guys you have to mention regardless are Aaron Rodgers at 13-2 and Tom Brady at 12-1. I think Rodgers he's got his established players and he's going to put up the numbers. I think it's just going to depend on the Packers' record.
Just looking at that, they're at 12-1. Anytime you can get 12-1 odds on Tom Brady to do anything, I think it's a solid bet. You've seen during the preseason, yes, he's lost Aaron Hernandez. Yes, he's lost Rob Gronkowski for a little bit of time.
Wes Welker and Brandon Lloyd.
Brandon Lloyd and Wes Welker. But the thing is, they got guys in there that, I think they can do the job. They have Kenbrell Tompkins, who has had a good preseason so far. Edelman's still there.
Setterfield and Ballard are the new tight ends.
Yeah, so Tom Brady's going to get his yards. If you get 12-1 odds on Tom Brady, I think it's a solid bet.
Tom Brady's one of his best characteristics for people is getting them paid, and he's going to get a lot of people paid by getting them 1,000-yard seasons this year. Now, personally, I'm going to take a bit of a long shot, and I'm going to go with C.J. Spiller, assuming he's healthy. He left the last preseason game the Bills had, but I think this is a guy who the Bills say they're going to give the ball to he pukes, so he's going to rack up the yards. I think he could have an Adrian Peterson-like season where he reaches close to 2,000 yards, and he's going to, if you add up his net yardage, he could get 2,500 all-purpose yards even. I think he could get about 700 yards receiving to go along with 1,800 yards rushing. He's going to get the ball a lot, and he's going to be the focal point of their season, especially if E.J. Manuel misses the first game of the season, and they're going with undrafted rookie Jeff Toole out of Washington State. So I like C.J. Spiller. We'll move now to most passing yards, where your pick for the MVP, Drew Brees, is the favorite at 4-1. Are you going to take him to win the passing title?
I think he's going to win the passing title too. I think he's going to have. It's going to be a close race. I think Drew Brees is going to win it though, probably by 100, maybe 100, a couple hundred yards. I think you're going to see Matthew Stafford. I think we're going to talk about in a minute. I think he's going to be on there. The offense in Detroit is based around the passing game. Bringing in Reggie Bush this year for Stafford is going to be a help to him. He's going to catch the screens. I saw a screen with Reggie Bush last week go for 50, 65 yards in that area. I think Tom Brady's going to be there as well. I think, like I said, we talked about a minute ago, 12-1 odds. He's going to find his guys. He's going to have his passing yards. One guy that I like to put kind of a, not so much a sleeper pick, but is Andrew Luck, and we'll talk about him in a minute.
And you stole my thunder with Matthew Stafford. I think he could have a huge year. It's not hard to believe that Calvin Johnson could go for over 2,000 yards this year. He's a big target, and he's going to always put up the yards. But let's consider last year, Mikel LaShore had 70 catches. With Reggie Bush, he could have upwards of 90, and he's a much better receiving back, much more explosive in space. He could put up some yards. Ryan Broyles, if he's healthy the whole year, that's an instant upgrade over Titus Young. So, yes, Titus Young, who's better in getting in trouble than playing on football. And you also have to consider that you still have Brandon Pettigrew, who, yes, he is prone to drops, but can still catch the ball. And they've got the tight end out of Western Michigan, Tony Scheffler, who's developed into one of Stafford's favorite threats down the middle of the field. And yes, as a long shot, why not consider Andrew Luck? He's going to have both his tight ends healthy for the whole year, Dwayne Allen and Fleener. And then they added Darius Hayward-Bay on the outside, a guy who can stretch the field, open up more space for Reggie Wayne and T.Y. Hilton. And you have Ahmad Bradshaw in the backfield, who is going to open up more running holes and open up more of a passing game. Let's move now to the rushing title, where the heavy favorite is Adrian Peterson at 11-4.
Adrian Peterson, like you said there, he's going to be the odds-on favorite. My pick for this is going to be, I'm going to go Doug Martin. I think we talked about in a few videos ago. He got two key offensive linemen back this year.
Davin Joseph and Carl Nix.
I think Martin comes in at 15-1, is it?
That's 10-1.
10-1 he comes in at, 10-1 Doug Martin. I'll take Doug Martin.
I like CJ Spiller, so 12-1, that's an interesting play. I'm going to throw out three names to consider right now. Starting at 12-1, Alfred Morris. You have to wonder how healthy RG3 is to start the season. I think they're going to lean on him to begin the year, so he could rack up some big games to start the season. But why not Jamal Charles in Kansas City at 14-1? He's explosive. He's gone for 1,500 before. Why not? He could get more now that he's got first overall pick Eric Fisher on one side and Brandon Elber on the other. And I think that's going to be a much improved line. But I think, much like your pick of Doug Martin, Chris Johnson, do you think he could bounce back? They've added Andy Levitra to their line in free agency and drafted Chance Warmack 10th overall. Any thoughts on Johnson?
Chris Johnson, he's gonna have I think probably about 1,200 yards this year in that area. I think he's one of the fastest players, if not the fastest player, at the running back position.
It's getting him to focus on not going for the home run every play and just picking up those 4 to 5 yards each carry. And we move to receiving title, where Calvin Johnson is the biggest favorite of the day at 5-2.
I think he's almost as much as a lock as you're going to be if he stays healthy. Which
it's a very safe bet.
He's a safe bet, 5-2. It's not much action there. $2 bet will only get you $7, so it's not great odds with Calvin Johnson. If I was going to make a bet at all, I'd probably look a little bit more with the odds. Somebody like Dez Bryant, who we'll talk about in a minute. I think we have him as 8-1. He came on out of nowhere last year. I remember I had him on my fantasy football team, and he sucked.
You traded him, and that destroyed your season.
I traded him because he sucked the first few weeks, and then he just caught fire, and he turned into he was 1A, 1B with Calvin Johnson over the last few games of the season last year. It'll be interesting to see if Dez Bryant can put together a full season this year. If he can be right up there and challenge Calvin Johnson.
Another guy to consider at 9-1 would be Brandon Marshall, who is getting off new head coach in Mark Trestman from the CFL, where Trestman is going to be been used to throwing the ball just about every downs in 3-down football, so he's going to like throwing the ball, and Jay Cutler loves throwing to Marshall, so why not put a $1 bet down and make some money on him if he could come through. If we move to some long shots, a couple guys I like, Dwayne Bowe and Hakeem Nicks, 33-1 and 40-1 respectively. I think that Dwayne Bowe is getting his first really good quarterback in Alex Smith. He really hasn't had one before, so that's an interesting play. And Hakeem Nicks in a contract year at 40-1, bounce back season from him and Eli could mean 1,500 yards. You never know. Maybe Calvin Johnson gets hurt, and you have a guy who's been a top 10 receiver before.
I agree.
All right, let's go to offensive rookie, where the favorite right now at 5-1 is Tavon Austin.
I think Tavon Austin is deservingly to be the 5-1 favorite early on. I think he's going to have a good season. He's coming to be becoming to be a good target there in St. Louis early.
Also offers return value too.
That's the thing. He gives you the multi-purpose threat, your return yards, plus he's got the receiving yards. I think he's deserving to be the early favorite. We'll see how the season progresses with him.
What about an offensive lineman like a Lane Johnson, a Luke Jokel, or a Eric Fisher? Do you think they'll get any votes? Is it just too hard for the average voter to make a distinction in offensive lineman?
I think it's just too hard for them to put any votes towards an offensive lineman. I think you need to look at the
hard numbers.
The hard numbers, the offensive positions, your quarterbacks, your running backs, your wide receivers.
Yeah, you mentioned quarterback. Let's go to the first one drafted. E.J. Manuel sits at 10-1 for the Buffalo Bills.
He's on my Buffalo Bills. I love my Bills. Right now he's hurt. It's going to depend. He could be out of the running ASAP if he doesn't start.
Should we change the bet to Jeff Toole?
Jeff Toole, undrafted rookie, could possibly start week 1 for the Bills. I know right now the word out of Buffalo is everybody's hoping E.J. Manuel can play first week, but hope is one thing, doing is another. So it'll be interesting to see if E.J. Manuel misses any significant time. his chance at winning offensive rookie of the year is going to be gone quick.
Let's talk about some rookies. Le'Veon Bell, Eddie Lacy, Giovanni Bernard. Do you like any of them to win it?
I think that the key with them is how much production you're going to get out of them. Is Le'Veon Bell going to be the starter? Is Eddie Lacy going to be the starter? They're all in depth chart position battles right now. So it's going to be interesting to see this week as cuts start to come down and depth charts start to form as we head into the last week of preseason games. You know, we're just I think 9 or 10 days away from opening day. So it's going to be interesting to see how much of those rookies are going to play. We talked about Tavon Austin. We know he's going to start. We know E.J. Manuel is going to start in Buffalo. So it's going to be a big question with these running backs. Are they going to be the number one on the depth chart? You know, Giovanni Bernard, I like him. Is he going to get more carries than the law firm in Cincinnati? Is Le'Veon Bell going to be the starter? So it's going to be
Le'Veon Bell has to get healthy first. That's one thing he has to do.
That's right. So it's going to be a question of how many reps they get, how much production they get. But right now, I think the safe bet is Tavon Austin right now. He's the most healthy of the group that we talked about. And like I said, he's a guaranteed starter there. He's going to get his production. I think he's a safe bet.
Now, if I have to make one bet, it would be E.J. Manuel. But if he's not healthy, why not consider another one of your Bills, Marquise Goodwin, who does a lot of the same things as Tavon Austin, and you can get him a lot longer shot. And every time he gets a chance on a kick return, he could take it to the house. He's an explosive speed. He was in the Olympics for a reason. So why not take a long shot flyer like that?
We don't have him with his odds, so it's likely that he's going to have high odds. I know just watching a couple preseason games this year, the first game against Indianapolis, he took one back to the house as a kick return. He almost took a second one this past weekend versus Washington. Almost again. He almost broke one. He got it out near midfield. Second one, again, he took back. He ended up getting stopped at about the 28-yard line, but it was just like one tackle away from breaking into the end zone again. This he's explosive, like you mentioned. He can take anything to the house. It's going to be a question with him if he gets into the offensive mix in Buffalo. You have receivers there. You have Stevie Johnson that's going to be number one. You're probably looking at T.J. Graham, number two. You're probably looking at Robert Woods, number three. And then you're looking at maybe Brad Smith. So it's going to be a question with Goodwin if he can get into the offense. If he can get into the offense and you get a good price on him, yeah, that's a very good bet.
Let's flip sides of the ball to the defense, where Lions first round pick Ziggy Ansah is the favorite out of BYU at 6-1.
I like him. I think he's gonna have a decent year this year. 6-1 odds is pretty good. It's not a bad bet. Just throw down $2, you win $12, $14. It's not a bad bet.
I think that we've seen in the past that voters have gone for the tackle numbers and how many of these players get. So I'm going to look at middle linebackers, and Manti Te'o at 14-1 is an interesting play, but the player I really like in the middle is going to be Alec Ogletree from Georgia. He's been drafted by the Rams at the end of the first round. I think he could have a big year. But the man I'm going to go with is another Georgia Bulldog. That's Steelers draft pick, Jarvis Jones. I think this guy's explosive. I think he could get double-digit sacks in his first year. And when you lead the SEC 2 straight years in sacks, you're doing something right. I think it's going to translate well to the NFL.
I like Jarvis Jones as well. Coming off a little bit of an injury last week. He's going to be fine for week 1. He's going to sit right in that defense. He's going to fit in right away. I think he's a good safe bet.
And those are our player props bets for the 2013 NFL season. If you like our video, like it, subscribe, share it with all your friends. Thanks for watching.